All right, everyone, here we are with another video with Invest for Tomorrow. And to all the first-time viewers and investors, welcome to the channel. And to all the subscribers, welcome back. All I ask for in return is for you to smash that like button to let me know you watch this video and to stay tuned on in towards the second half of this video, guys. I'm going to talk about the ticker symbols I mentioned over at the Discord this morning, as well as an option that I found very interesting that is actually up 300%, even though it shows it's 30% down from yesterday to today. But based off of today's low all the way to today's high, it went up 300% plus, being a great day trade opportunity. That's the cool thing about some of these options. Even though they look like they're down, it's all about execution and timing. I talk about it all the time over at the Patreon and Discord. And if that's something that interests you and you want to join us, you're more than welcome to join us. The links are down below to the Patreon and Discord, and slots are filling up pretty quickly, and we look forward to having you join us. You can become part of the community as well, where we maximize profits and minimize losses. So here we are with SPX, right? The S&P 500 index. And, you know, this was something I had a feeling it was bound to come, or I was expecting it to come, even though I could be incorrect. But when it would come, it would either be close to 200 to 500 points. And that's something I want to talk about here in today's video. Are we in a stock market crash or correction? Now, there's a lot of things and variables that are coming into play to build out this picture here, everything that we're seeing happening in the charts. So I do want you guys to be aware of that. And the first thing is CPI data, the uncertainty of probably tapering on bond purchases by the Fed, and also the Fed having to go ahead and raise interest rates sooner than expected. And that is something that has created a pullback like this one. And then, even though you may not want to believe it, Yellen's comment that actually made the stock market fall pretty fast, and she stated then that actually that's not what she meant. She was talking about something else, saying that if we overheat, we may need to raise interest rates. And she was just saying, well, the Federal Reserve is here and we'll do that, and we have the tools if necessary, which is kind of like anticipating the necessity to probably do it. So there's a lot of uncertainty. Then there's issues going on with exportation and shipping and just, you know, supply chain issues that just keep on compounding. And then on top of the bigger picture, the reopening plays are actually now being dropped out of because the reopening has come and they were just cyclical or value stocks for that momentum. Earnings have actually stopped and slowed down as well. We've had some of the best earnings in the last month and some towards this month, but things are slowing down, and a pullback, hopefully it's a healthy one, was bound to happen. But if it gets out of hand, it may not be a healthy one. It can turn into a crash or correction. So what are we going to look for here moving forward? So right now, no one can time or say where the bottom is, right? But we saw this pull back from 42.36 to a low here of 41.12. Pulled upwards to 41.60 and now pulled back to 40.63. So in total, we have gone down close to 200 points. So what is the good, the bad, and the ugly? The good is that we get a little bit lower and we get closer to 4,000, right? Like 4,000. And we don't break through that. Use that as support and rebound to build momentum. And hopefully there's a transition and growth stocks, SPACs, and everything of that sort don't continue to get destroyed. That's the good. The bad is that this continues and it can get closer to 3,800 or even up here in the 3,900 range. So anywhere between that area. And that right there means that the SPACs, the growth, the tech continue to get plummeted down. And then also the S&P 500 index stocks are overall going down and getting closer to that area. So that is going to be very, very important to watch and pay close attention to moving forward. And the ugly is that this continues and it gets so volatile to the downside. So much pressure, right, of shorting, compounding on top of that. The S&P 500 index stocks are being dropped out of, right? the recovery plays or reopening plays are just being dropped out of profit taking and stuff. And then no rotation, no anything of that sort, just interest rates being, thrown around of possibility, creating uncertainty. Tapering is actually on its way, which then also means interest rates are coming sooner than expected. And then also inflation worries, right? Supply chain issues continue, and just the market overall continues to be fearful. We could end up all the way down in the 37 and worst case scenario 35,000. Well, not 35,000, excuse me, 3,500 area. Okay. Now, that is the ugly. That's like the worst of the worst. And this turned from a correction to a crash, and from just being a healthy pullback all the way to a crash. Right now, we're in a healthy pullback scenario. I know it sounds kind of bad to say healthy. A lot of portfolios are red. I get it. And that's why I trade actively every day, looking for opportunities. And we talk about them over at the Discord. And if that's something, like I said earlier, that you're interested in becoming a part of, you're more than welcome to join us. We're 100 plus members already. And we have a great community of smart, intelligent investors that you can also participate becoming part of our group and community. But right now, the stocks are all getting hit hard. If anyone says that their portfolio is not red, either they're not in the market or they got in the market when these stocks were pulling back and they're buying the stocks that are going up through this volatility, or they're shorting, which it'd be very unusual for somebody that wasn't in the market before just start shorting out of nowhere, right? No one knew or anticipated this to this extent, but a pullback in a healthy manner was expected, and now it's getting overextended. That can end up becoming a correction, and if it continues, it can become a crash. So we need to pay attention to these levels. Worst case scenario 3,500 to 3,700, and then if this pulls down even more, it's 4,000, which is 4,000, down to 3,800. So we need to watch within these levels, in these areas, if there's a support or at least consolidation, kind of creating a floor to then reverse, bring itself back up, and then we can go ahead and see if stocks are transitioning back to growth and tech, or what is going on overall in the market due to either the tapering tantrums, as they call them, or actually the inflation causing this, or the interest rates uncertainty coming back up, right? So we need to see how things are going to react. CPI data came out. You can see how the stock market reacted. We're going to need to see if things continue that way. And also, the VIX is shooting up high, guys. The last time we had a big pullback in March, it hit highs of 31, and we're on our way towards that. And all the way back here in February, it hit highs of 37. So we want to watch this closely. If you want to know what's going on and why the stocks are falling pretty fast, this does the inverse of where stocks are going, and this goes up while stocks are falling. So we need to see what is going on moving forward. Pay close attention to these levels. And guys, let's jump right into the stocks that I mentioned this morning, because even though the market is falling, we're always looking for 5 to 10% opportunities on a good day. On a great day, 10 to 20%, and a home run is 20% plus. We hit 2 home runs, and let's talk about that option that went up 300% today. If somebody was able to day trade it, catching it at its bottom and riding it to its high as it played out. Stay tuned. So today was a very, very volatile day. I stated it over at the Discord when we started watching these stocks. I was looking for a quick 5 to 10% early on in the morning, but turns out if I would have been just a little more patient with this same opportunity that gave me about 3% in the morning, it could have given me 20% plus, guys. This was a home run. I was just looking at so many other opportunities, and I was trying to get in and get out, looking for a 5 to 10% opportunity, especially when the stock market is falling like this. But we will never stop looking for opportunities and watching stocks that have momentum. That is something that we'll continue to do always in the Invest for Tomorrow Discord. And if that's something that interests you, the link is down below in the description. We're 100 plus members already, all looking to learn and grow together to maximize profits and minimize losses. So I jumped in on this one pretty early and I rode it from those 570s up to the 6s, and then it started pulling back a little bit and I got out. Now I ended up making 3% here, and I ended up making 12% on another one that I mentioned. And here are the stocks that I mentioned. I mentioned EYES, LHDX, and NERV. So this is the one that gave me 12%. It actually turned out to be a home run as well, 20% plus early on in the morning. And if we look it up here, you will see that it played out really good and really fast. So it pulled back and it ran up. And right here at this stagnation, I made a decision to call it a day, take my 12% and move on. And it hit a high here of 299, guys, 20% plus. And right here also, before pulling back and hitting that high, it hit 296. So that was phenomenal to start off the day. And that happened within just 10 to 12 minutes. Okay, that's what I was looking for with EYES. It didn't happen. And same thing I was looking for with LHDX. But I was confident that there was opportunity here with these stocks. And these stocks definitely have momentum to the point that it actually pulled back, ran up again, right? And now in the aftermarket, this stock has blown up, guys. Now this momentum can actually lead into tomorrow and so forth, but home runs after home runs for the day. But right here, pulled back, hit a low here of 637 and all the way up to 731. That was phenomenal right there. Great move of 15% plus. And it's always about execution and patience, guys. We can't have that instant gratification that it's going to go up as soon as the bell rings, pulls back, and just takes off. You sometimes have to watch it for an hour or two and watch it through the volatility. Have your indicators up, look at the charts, set your stop loss limit order once you find that bottom or at least the weakness of consolidation like it did here, and then you just ride it up. And if you get kicked out, that's the cost of trying, right? Your stop loss limit order is the cost of trying, and right there is that 10 to 15% opportunity. And now it's up a total amount of almost 40% on the day, plus that run. I mean, it's pretty phenomenal how this stock has been moving, and we have to see how it plays out moving forward. But this is what we look for every day. Let me share with you guys the option play that I found interesting today. So here we are with OXY, Occidental Petroleum, right? And this company is showing here on this put minus 38%, but it's actually showing minus 38% from the day before going into today. If you see the low of this, it was close to 0.15, I think close to 0.14, and it's currently at 0.51. That's 300% up, guys. Now, the stock is moving upwards in the aftermarket hours, volumes picking up, so it is something to watch and see what's going on. And if this starts building momentum in the pre-market tomorrow, yes, this is going to get hit a little bit. But if there's any type of momentum that pulls it back like it did today, this will be an option that will probably go up in value. It's all about execution and timing, right? So you want to watch it carefully because the volatility can start off right at the bell, the first 30 minutes or first couple of minutes, and this starts flying. And it's a great day trade opportunity for an extra, 10, 20% if that does happen. Or it could start losing an extra 10, 20% and become minus 50, become minus, a certain amount and go back downwards because the stock is overextending. But if it does overextend, at the end of the day, it may cool off. And as it's pulling back, the value is going to go up. But it found it very interesting that it shows you the put is down for the day 38%. But from the low to this point, anyone that day traded it made 300% plus, guys. So that's what's interesting about puts and calls and options in general, that even though they look down, it's all about timing and execution, and anyone could be up even when a put or a call looks like it's down, guys. So very interesting stuff. Take a look at it. If you know what you're doing and you've done your due diligence and research, take a shot at it. But this is a very, very risky opportunity because it actually expires this Friday, guys. And this Friday, if you don't sell it by then, depending on what brokerage you have and how much you bought, it can actually exercise the stocks and you'll become assigned those stocks, 100 shares per contract. So either it could expire worthless on the 14th or you can be assigned those specific shares, and that could be a bigger issue. So if you don't know about this and you don't know anything about options, you want to stay away from it, and you're supposed to trade it days before the expiration. This is a very volatile opportunity, and it can also be a very volatile misfortune. So be very careful. If you're learning, just watch and see how it reacts. It's currently at 0.51. We're going to see where it ends up tomorrow, if it starts getting volatile to the upside or downside. But I wanted to share with you guys something interesting that I have been watching over time, that puts and calls can look like they're down, but they're actually up depending on where you strike them and caught them, guys. So something new to learn there. And tomorrow, if you're learning and you don't know much about it, just watch. And if you know what you're doing, make a rational decision based off of your due diligence and research. Thank you guys so much for watching, and let's make some money.